Hello everybody, hope that you are good. Last week I didn't upload a video because I was in a live stream, my first ever live stream, and I don't think I did that bad, guys. I don't know what you think, but yeah, it was in Twitch. It was in the channel of my friend Folly, so you can watch it on replay. I'll leave the link in the description in case you want to. Yeah, that was last Friday. It was a bit long, 2 hours and a half, so only watch if you have spare time, because in this video it's going to be, you know, the latest update that I have for you. So yeah, I mean, feel free to watch if you want to know more about me. A lot of questions were asked in the chat, so I answered to all of them that I could, and yeah, it was very fun. So thank you for the invitation again. If you're watching this, maybe one day you come to the channel, who knows. Anyway, let's talk about Bitcoin. So far, what I'm thinking, well, it's something that we've been anticipating for a few weeks already, and it's very likely that we see some kind of a range here between 90,000, okay, that's your 90,000 level. Especially I think it's marked by this week here that we've got in the 4-hour time frame, because if you go into the 4-hour time frame, you can see that week there that it's perfectly marking those range lows. Okay, so I think that will be my range lows. It will be the end of that week. And then if you go again into the daily time frame, we should mark the range highs, which I think has to be 100k, a strong psychological level. I mean, it's a round number. 99k is not the same as 100k. It even sounds different. Come on. So yeah, I would say that this is some kind of range environment that we could see for the next few weeks, and in my opinion, likely will last until around the 20th of January. That's 3 weeks from now on. And that would be basically around here. From here, we could see either a breakout or a breakdown from this range. Now, I'll tell you first why I think that around that date makes sense. And second, what direction I think it'll most likely go to. So the date is mostly because, you know, we're in Christmas time, then it's New Year, there are not that many traders, institutions are off work. Now, it's most likely that we stay in this range. Also, you can see here some support with the daily 50MA, and the 20th of January is also the date of, well, the official date of the inauguration of Donald Trump as a new president of the United States. So, who knows, maybe from that date, we could start to see some volatility, all right? So, that's what I'm thinking, that likely will stay in this range for the next 2-3 weeks, likely, okay? We'll see about that, but the most important thing is about the direction of the breakout, and I think that, you know, this was some consolidation. In fact, I think that this was also a channel, okay? Now, these type of channels, after an uptrend, they tend to break to the upside, because there was here these highs that they were not hit. You have to go above these highs, okay? There is a lot of liquidity there, and also above this trend line here, there is a lot of stop losses, liquidations. So to me, what made the most sense in this situation was a breakout to the upside. Now we got that breakout, we got also the support retest at the top of that channel, and continuation. This structure, however, is very different. I think is a range, okay? And usually a range at the highs, and especially in this context, and I'm going to explain why, I think this is most likely, you know, a leg up, consolidation, and continuation, another leg up. So I'm expecting a breakout eventually from this range. Why? Well, go to the weekly time frame. If you see a range at the highs or some consolidation at the highs, usually a sign of a reversal are wicks to the upside, but price not progressing any further. All right, so if you notice here, it's not that you don't have that, it's that you have the completely opposite. You have wicks to the downside towards those range highs that we've marked, and price is not managing to break further to the downside. Why? Well, it seems that there is some kind of intention that price stays in this zone. All right, so so far the chart to me looks bullish. I cannot be bearish in high time frame here. So yeah, playing level by level, I don't think that this is bearish at all. I'm expecting the first 6 months of 2025 to be quite bullish. I can also support a theory in the S&P 500. I don't think, by the way, and I've explained this before, I don't think that this FOMC drop was a turning point. In fact, I was expecting this drop to get retraced very fast, which is what happened, simply because this drop didn't happen due to the dot plot, didn't happen due to the news. It simply happened because Jerome Powell said in the press conference that today was a two-third call. And of course, if investors hear that, they're going to start to sell, and that turns into a shakeout, not a turning point, because if you look at the real data, the dot plot, it's actually bullish because it's expecting one extra rate cut than the federal funds futures market was expecting. They were expecting only one, and the Fed is expecting 2 rate cuts for next year. So in terms of macroeconomy, let's say, which I'm not an expert, but I think that that's not a turning point, okay? Or it shouldn't signal a turning point. It's true, of course, that the dollar index is breaking out, and yeah, it looks quite bullish. Let's go into the weekly time frame. I also said on the last live stream on Friday that it's likely that we go and fill this liquidity pool here at around 110. So yeah, I mean, we're not out of the woods. Usually the dollar index going up means that Bitcoin consolidates or even drops, okay? So not expecting fireworks yet for Bitcoin. Now, if we go back into the daily time frame, let's mark all the levels and all the scenarios. So my first scenario is that, and I think that this is the most likely, this is a range consolidation or a sideways move in an uptrend that will lead eventually to a breakout, to another leg up, okay? But there are a few levels here to keep in mind. This will be the first one, okay? That white line there, 85k, that's a very key level, because if you drop below that level, then you are basically going to continue dropping at least to 72k. 72,000 is a level with a lot of support. So yeah, that would be a big drop. Also considering that if we mark the liquidity pools with my indicators, you can see there 3 liquidity pools to the downside, 3 imbalances. So yeah, 85,000, it's the last level that I would like to see holding, okay? I need to see the level holding. And by the way, if you want to access the indicator, you can see that, well, it marks I'll show you very quickly what it does. I've been working on this for many months. Now also in January next month, we're getting the second version of the indicator, which is going to fix a lot of things and improve a lot of things. Now basically it marks the week fill strategy, the 50% and 100% of the weeks, also the liquidity pools. It has 2 formulas that in the next version we're going to try to convert into one. So basically the settings look cleaner and they don't overlap also to each other. The daily 50 MA, alright, that you can also change it to the time frame that you want, no matter which one you currently are in. And then you have also here the trading sessions in case you want to trade in low time frame, alright? So if you want to access indicator, it's now your time, because we've opened this new Telegram group where basically we're giving access to every single person that has a bluffing account registered under my referral link and reaches a minimum of 50,000 trading volume, which is very easy because it includes leverage. So in a few trades, in a few days, you should be able to get it, even if you don't have much capital, because again, it includes leverage. And the important things I have to say is that if you already have a bluffing account that is registered under someone else's referral link or is not registered under any referral link, doesn't really matter, you can DM me on X or on Telegram, @CrypNuevo, and you can tell me your UID and we can transfer that straight away to my under my referral link, so then you can apply, okay? Now once that's done, or once you have a new bluffing account, okay, then you have to click here in this link and it'll take you to a chat with a bot that we've developed ourselves. And basically it's a bluffing bot where you tell him your bluffing UID, it verifies you automatically in the moment. He asks you for your TradingView username, so we can give you access to the indicator in TradingView, because so far it's an invite only indicator. And he also gives you access to a Telegram channel that is new, where we're basically gonna post indicators, updates, and also some free resources, perhaps a book that I'm writing right now. I'll post it there for you guys. Yeah, some campaigns of bluffing and bonuses and stuff. So yeah, guys, feel free to do this, and let's continue charting, because that's what I'm good at, really, not telling you all about this. So yeah, I would say that the daily time frame so far, it looks good. Nothing here of concern. Again, my sign of concern would be if we lose 85,000, then yeah, that concerns me a lot, because then we're probably gonna drop there around 20%, I think it is, to 72k. So 15% drop, that would be the next thing if we lose 85k. So hopefully we stay in this range for now. Right now, in the 4-hour time frame, and this is where the party starts, because took a few trades on this, and I'm gonna tell you how I'm playing this. And if you are a day trader, this is the part of the video that is going to interest you the most. So basically, if you guys remember, go to the 2 hours time frame. We were talking about 2 key levels here in the last update that I did on X. One was this long wick here, the 100% level. So that would be 90k. Hang on, what's happening here? I made a mistake. 1 second. This long wick there. Let me change the color. There. So yeah, that long wick, the 100% level is 90k. And then the other idea that we had in mind was a potential W formation here. Okay, something like this. Now, that's why I've mentioned also on Telegram, on the free Telegram channel, the way I was trading this. So I basically divided my entries. I thought and I still think that it's quite likely that we go to the 100% of the week. That's why here I have 50% here of my size. Okay, so that's what I would be deploying, 50% of my size. If we go to 90k, I'll be looking to take that trade with 50% of my size of my position. Okay, this is my risk management. Then at this level here, when we were here, we were talking about this potential drop towards, you know, that liquidity pool there, because yes, that's a liquidity pool. And that's why at this level here, okay, well, basically at that level there, I had 20% of my position, of my size. That one actually got triggered. Okay, now with that trigger, I took some profits here at the 1 hour 50 MA, and also, not that late, I took profits again at the 4 hour 50 MA. I don't have much of that position so far, because I think that it's very likely that we go back towards the 100% of the week, okay, where I can fill the 50% of my full size. So yeah, so far I will probably have around 10%, 12% of my total size, because I've taken some profits, and then the rest 30% is in case we can actually find acceptance above this level, above 100k. So far we've only been hitting it with wicks and been rejected. So in the moment that we actually can manage to find acceptance above 100k, that'll be telling me that we're gonna go higher, that we're gonna go towards these levels here, and this will be the level where I will be deploying the remaining 30%. So I'm gonna write it here down for you. Okay, this is so far how I'm positioned. Okay, 20%, which I've already taken profits here and here. Now I have around 10-12% left. I think it's likely we'll go back here towards the 90k level, where I'll be deploying 50% of size, and then if we get acceptance of this level, then I got there 30% more to deploy. That will be compounding my winning position if that's the case. Okay, and then yes, we can expect higher prices. So this is the way that I'm trading Bitcoin, and I think that we have to be quite patient, because if you notice, you know, the market is moving quite slow, we're ranging, there is no rush. But yeah, in terms of swing trading, and day trading executions, I think those are the best ones in my opinion. Right now, I think that's pretty much everything I want to say in Bitcoin. So yeah, just kind of waiting for these days to pass. We want to have more volatility in the next coming weeks, which I think is going to be a very good time to trade. Just give it 2-3 weeks or so, and until then, if we can start to get into some good positions like this, then perfect. Okay, even a deviation below the 100% of the week is very likely. Okay, usually when you have the 100% level of the week, it's very common to see those kinds of deviations. Okay, also here, if you guys notice, the 100% of the week, it's really, if we mark it exactly, look guys, exactly at 90,500 round number. Okay, now if we deviate slightly below it, you're gonna hit 90k. 90k is another psychological level, another round number even stronger than 90,500 because it's a semi-round number, and surely there is going to be a buy wall. And surely there is going to be a buy wall at that level. I'm sure that if we check the order book, we can see a lot of orders resting at those levels. So yeah, if we deviate right below it, 90k could give us that kind of bounce. Okay, so far that's what I'm looking at. Then of course, let's see near the time, because we know that the market maker can spoof the order. So if we are getting close, imagine we are around 91k, 92k, that is the time really to open the order book and check what is happening with those orders. Are they leaving them there? That means that they are real, that they are going to bounce, that we're gonna go and fill them and bounce from them. But if you start to see those orders at 90k disappearing, that's called spoofing. It's a trick, because there are some traders now that are opening the order book. They see that at 90k there is a lot of buy orders, so they place theirs at the same level, hoping that if everybody buys like me, we all going to make the price of Bitcoin bounce. So if right before hitting that level those orders disappear, then the price, it doesn't get supported. Price is gonna continue dropping. All right, so I'm not gonna look at the order book now. I'll be looking at the order book when we are close to that area. Okay, if it's the case that we actually drop towards 92k, 91k, then that is the time to open the order book. All right, not now. So yeah, that's so far all I think about Bitcoin, guys. Now if we go and check, for example, Ethereum really quickly, look at this, guys, weekly time frame. You want to notice something interesting here. Look at that level, 4,000. You couldn't even put it a bit higher. Go to the coordinates, 4,000. That is your level, psychological level. 3 rejections so far, within 2 or 3 candles. If you notice at the highs, that's 2 candles, price gets rejected and drop sharply. Again here, 2 candles, drops, gets 3 candles and drops. Okay, and the levels where we could drop to, I'll show them right on the daily time frame, but also in the weekly time frame I want to say that, what do you guys think is going to be a signal that price is gonna go higher? Well, simply not to do this, and not to do this again. If we start to actually see price coming back up towards this zone and consolidating a bit longer, okay, that is telling you that that's a change of behavior and prices goes up. It's the same as when the Bitcoin dominance was ranging. You're gonna see the same thing here, guys. Look, this was a range, price hits here, drops, price hits, drops, again here, all the time. But then here you have a change of behavior, change of environment. You see consolidation for a few weeks. That is telling you something is changing. Breakout, retest, continuation. Okay, so looking for something very similar in Ethereum, and that would be the consolidation below 4,000, or why not? This would be obviously even better and a much clearer sign. But if we actually go above 4,000 and consolidate for 2-3 candles above it, that is basically a resistance support flip, signaling continuation to the upside, which I think would be around $5,500. All right, so that is what I'm paying attention to in Ethereum, nothing else really, in terms of breakouts. And then if we actually are going to drop the same as we did in the previous times here, you can see, okay, and we are doing that right now. 2 levels. You have first of all the weekly 50 MA. That level should be able to hold, okay, and also in the daily time frame, which I think is even much more interesting, is this. Look at this area here. You got a lot of support there, okay. Very probable, very likely a slight deviation below it. We've been talking about this for weeks. It can still happen. A slight deviation below 30,000, you know, get me 2,980, 2,940 maximum. Then get back above it. That will be your trigger, and price can continue going higher, right? So at least to 4,000, but that will be your first take profits. And if you see the breakout, then 5,500. So this is the way that I'm trading, and the way that I'm trying to get position for the next few weeks. Could Bitcoin, you know, drop below 85,000 and go to 72,000? Yes, it's possible, but so far that is not what the chart is telling me. Level by level, we're in a range 100k to 90k. All that matters to me in Bitcoin is whether, if we are going to go, we're at 95k. So all I care about is, are we going to go to 100k first, or are we going to go to 90k first? That's all that I care about right now as a day trade, okay? I'm not thinking of 85k, I'm not thinking of 72k, I'm not thinking of 130k. That is not what I make business. What I make the most amount of money and most amount of trades is in this type of environment here. So yeah, go again to the range lows. Perfect. Give me that deviation, get above it. That would be a very safe trigger to enter, okay? Then take profits at the range highs. If you see a breakout, then continue riding those backs. All right, so there is not much more to it. Let's continue. Bitcoin dominance. Well, this one is quite tricky. With the Bitcoin dominance, to me, it's the most interesting chart at the moment, because it's the one that it scares me the most, because I have an idea of what it's likely going to happen, but you know, Bitcoin dominance behaves in such ways that sometimes are difficult to predict. So far, until here, I've been able to read it correctly, but I'm scared that from this point, I might be wrong, okay? So, really quickly, long story short, you have here a range for 2 years, then, well, you see here the change of behavior of environment that we were talking earlier, that consolidation. So we're expecting a breakout, a retest of the range highs, perfect, continuation, perfect, fill up all these inefficiencies, all these imbalances, these liquidity pools. Then the last thing, this was 61.55%. That is the level that I marked. We actually touched it perfectly. I think we went even to 61.70%, so pretty much the same level. And I marked that level basically because I don't see any more inefficiencies or imbalances to the upside. So to me, it doesn't make much sense that price would go higher than this level, right? So I'm still thinking that that is likely the top. Although again, I'm quite afraid that I might be wrong about this. But yeah, so far, this could be some kind of retrace, continuation. All right, that's what I'm keeping an eye on for the Bitcoin dominance over the next 6 months or so. And my first level of support would be 52%. See how that behaves. If we lose it, then you're gonna go to the range highs here, 48%. All right, so that's all that it is to me. Right now, I'm scared because we saw support at the weekly 50 MA, and I want to see that level not holding. I want to see that level breaking. Okay, so we could go all the way to 60%, which is what I initially spotted was some kind of M formation like this, but we actually went sharper than I thought. And then hopefully that's the retrace and that's the continuation, right? So that's my idea of the Bitcoin dominance. And consequently, I'm looking at altcoins. So for example, Solana, guys. Well, Solana, I said this also in the live stream on Friday with Follies. I was wrong about this, had to take a loss here. because I was expecting the previous high, this yellow line, to hold. We were holding it for some time along the daily 50 MA. Eventually, we saw a spike up in the Bitcoin dominance that I didn't anticipate. So altcoins took a tumble. Solana dropped quite a lot there. Had to take the loss. And right now, I'm paying attention to what could happen next, which in my opinion is this white line is quite interesting to me. And it's all interesting in the case that Bitcoin drops to 90k, okay? If Bitcoin drops to 90k to the 100% level of that long week, the range lows, deviation goes up, okay? Remember that scenario that we've talked about. If that is the case with Bitcoin, then Solana should drop to this white line there, okay? You can see supports there, very clear supports and resistances, all the time price engaging in that zone, non-stop, all the time you can see those kinds of reactions. So perhaps we're gonna see it again. And in the weekly time frame, it matches very well with the weekly 50 MA. And I always say that in a bull market, one of the safest buy areas in a spot is the weekly 50 MA. That's what I said in Solana here. Bought Solana at $113. Then we got the long week there. We said it's going to get retrace, so don't worry, don't buy yet here if you've missed that entry before, because you are going to go back to the weekly 50 MA because it matches with the 50% level of the week. We got that again, prices goes up, okay? So what I'm anticipating is that if we drop to this white line again, the weekly 50 MA is also going to act as support, and then price can continue going higher. That's basically what I'm expecting. Very bullish in Solana. So the next altcoin is TAO. So TAO, I don't know how you guys say it, how it's meant to be said, but I call it TAO. And with this one I was quite lucky because I managed to get a very good entry in a spot at these levels here, 415-ish. Didn't take any profits here. I was expecting, to be honest, to go to at least $1,000 or so. Then this happened, okay? For some reason, you know, TAO went absolutely to the floor. Look at this long week, it's huge. And luckily I missed it. I didn't see that in live. And I opened my chart at this zone here. So imagine you guys open your chart here and you see this long week. So what I did at that moment was basically to sell all my spot back that I had from this level, thinking that it was quite likely that I was on a round trip all my back if I didn't do that, because you know, long weeks they tend to get filled. So yeah, I luckily managed to sell all my spot back there, and so far I haven't bought again. I could have bought again at the same level, to be honest, or even slightly cheaper, because they went to $400. Haven't done so already, to be honest. Lack of care. I think I didn't put alarms at 400. Should have done that, or at least at the 50% level of this week. But what I'm thinking here for TAO is that, again, if Bitcoin drops, how far can TAO go? And the last level that I would like to see holding really strong is this orange line there, okay? Because you can see that should be quite a strong support. Would like to see, to be honest, another potential drop here towards this zone. So you have 1, 2, 3 taps pattern, reversal. So yeah, I think that if Bitcoin drops to 90k, which that's the scenario that I'm going more with, slightly more likely, then you could get there the third tap, reversal, and if we are lucky, then price could actually go to this orange line where it's cheaper and it's a stronger support, and you would have more confidence of a bounce. So those are the two levels that I'm looking in TAO, around $400 again, $405, $410 again. And if we drop even lower, then 366, all right? So those are my levels for this altcoin. Then Chainlink, I was lucky here also. I said in my last video that I was going to sell 75% of my bags at $30. Look what happened at $30. Price goes to $30. wicks to the upside, price not progressing any further. That is telling you that price is being sold at the highest level that the chart can find, that the market makers can sell those orders to the retail that are possibly getting excited and saying, look, we're back at 30, we can go to 40, all right, we can go to 50. So that's where the big money sells the back to the small money and lucky to have caught that one and rode the wave with the market maker, that same trade. And right now I think that daily 50 MA could be a level that should be acting as quite strong support. So I think that any buys in this area are welcome. Possibly we'll get back into Chainlink if we get another touch of this area. And you don't really want to see that level not holding, because then I'm probably gonna go to around $17, which is quite a big drop in comparison. So yeah, looking really for this area here to hold, all right? We can maybe go back to $30 after that. So that's what I'm thinking for Chainlink right now. No, I would really like to get back into. And right now, personally, I'm looking to get back into it because I've sold. So it would be nice to buy again cheap. I mean, prices are already cheap, but I would like to see another retest of that daily 50 MA at least. So next coin is ENA. Okay, this one is been trading very strongly. You can see, very strong uptrend. One of the strongest altcoins right now in the market. It's amazing. Got in at 34 cents. Sold most of my bucks too early around here, around 48, 50 cents. Then sold again, well, bought again, sold again. Right now I'm looking to enter again. The place where I'm looking at is right here, okay? It's the daily 50 MA. You can see that we are making this area some kind of a strong support, because here it was a very strong resistance back at the time, then a strong support again, another touch there to 85 cents would be the first one of the daily 50 MA, and we could see some kind of a bounce there back to $1, all right? So that is where I'm looking to re-enter in ENA, and I'll do so if I get the opportunity. Next one, okay, here I got for you a couple altcoins that are very similar structure, and it's my favorite structure in a bear market, okay, or in a transition between a bear and a bull market. And it's these kinds of ranges at the lows, these consolidations, which really all they are is accumulations of price, you know, before the next leg up. And then you're gonna attack this kind of key pivot levels like 26 cents, okay? So bought here I myself at the mid range, and if we drop again to the range lows, then I'll cut my back from the mid range. I cut around here, okay? I get out, I get back in at the range lows and trade towards that key pivot level. Same with, for example, this other coin. Let me mark it for you. Let me see that one there, W. This one very similar, bought at the mid range myself. This one is in the daily time frame. You can see that accumulation phase right there. So yeah, bought at the mid range. Let's see if we break from here towards that key pivot level, 69 cents I would say. But if we start to see the mid range to not hold, so if we do some kind of this consolidation, then there I'm getting out of that trade. I'm looking to re-enter at the range lows for that bounce, all right? So very clear, very good structures here for Gala, W, and TIA. So with TIA, this was probably the worst trade of the year that I took, or one of the worst ones, because my average entry was here around 450-ish. Well, you know, it was a great entry. Price goes up, goes to $9 as a times 2. Here at this moment, I'm hoping the price is going to go to $12 because I see some momentum here from the previous days. I see also FOMO. I'm hoping price is going to go to $12. It doesn't. It reverses from there, goes back down, round trip my entry. And now so far what I'm waiting is to see if it goes back down to the range lows, where I'm thinking to even add position there to see if that's going to be the correct ride to that level that I had in mind at the beginning. So yeah, possibly I'll even increase my size here. Okay, that's something that I'm considering to do next. But look, here is pretty much what I'm talking about. Okay, this is the kind of a structure. You have the accumulation phase, then you have here, and this is what I'm expecting to see next. This is the part where I was wrong, and I thought that we were here before, but now we were, deviating back below it. So yeah, this is something that I'm expecting to see with TIA, Gala, W, and there are probably many more. Something I'm expecting to see in the next few weeks. And then last, and why not, you have Dogecoin. Dogecoin now in the government. So who knows? It's definitely one that I want to be part of. And I talked about this setup a few weeks ago, and I said that is the one that I felt the least confident with because I saw the drop was quite significantly. And we actually are getting it so far. So safe entry would be getting back above this range here that is acting as resistance right now. So if we get back above 34 cents, then we should go to 44 cents. So that's around 20% pump, a bit more even from there. Okay, something I'll be very happy to see. So look guys, that would be actually 28% pump. Okay, that is something that I will be looking to trade. But the only problem that I'm seeing here is this long wick there. Okay, now let's put the indicator, let's have a look here, because really the 50% level is at 28 cents. Okay, that's the 50% level of that wick. So if the daily 50 MA and the range lows continue acting as resistance as it's been doing for the last 5 days or so, it's likely that eventually we drop at least to 28 cents. Okay, so perhaps it's something like this what we see, something like that. Okay, again, you could enter here or here if you want to take the risk, and if you want to be super safe, you can enter up here for a trade. Depends what you're looking. If you're looking to have a spot back to hold for the next years, or if you are looking to take a swing trade, that's up to you. So that's pretty much everything, guys. Let's go back to Bitcoin. There it is, 95,100. So let's see what it does. Remember, key levels, you have daily 50 MA there, acting as support. Though I would like to see something like this. Okay, give me something like this, I'll be very happy at 90k. Possibly a bounce from there, and eventually this is just a range that I'm hoping for a breakout at the end of it. Alright, and losing 85,000 level is what I don't want to see. I want to see that level holding, because otherwise we'll drop here, we'll drop towards those highs there at 72,000. Alright, so that's pretty much everything. Bitcoin in a nutshell. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.